Hi everyone, I'm Kelly Stavist and joined today by one of the stars of the ARCA Menards series, Hailie Deegan. Hailie, thank you so much for joining me today. It's got a big weekend coming up. You guys are headed to the road course at Daytona, which is actually the last time I got to chat with you, way back in January when you drove an IMSA car there. How anxious are you to get back to that place?
I'm pretty excited because this was not one of the races that we had planned on our schedule. And I already, at the beginning of the year, I saw all the races and stuff. Obviously, you see which ones, you're looking forward to, your favorites and stuff. And obviously, this one wasn't on there. And so I was like, okay, we get a race like Watkins Glen. I like road courses. I've raced at Sonoma about twice. And I was decent there. I qualified on the pole one of the times there against a lot of good drivers. And so it made me a confirmation that I was like, okay, we're decent at road courses. Obviously, there's a little fine tuning, and nobody's perfect. I would not say I'm perfect at a road course, but I feel like that's one of my stronger suits. I'm trying to learn this whole stock car world, circle track, everything like that. And that's all kind of a foreign concept. It has been a foreign concept to me. So everything I'm learning for the first time. But when going back to road courses, I grew up go-karting. I grew up racing off-road trucks on a course where you actually turn right and left. So that's not a foreign concept to me. So I feel more comfortable on road courses, and especially with us only getting an hour of practice and all the time I have on that track. I have so many days of practice from the beginning of the year on that track. Obviously, it's in a different car, a GT4 Mustang, which that was so much fun to drive. It made me appreciate those cars so much more after driving a stock car on the simulator. Just the technology they have and how much it's easy to drive but hard to be fast in the IMSA car, which the stock cars are harder to drive. But if you have that experience, I feel like you could have a little bit of a advantage over people.
Well, I was going to ask you about, obviously, a very different car. And I know you and your teammate Chase Briscoe had some mechanical issues, but now knowing you're going back there for one of your points races, how valuable was all that time back in January?
Yeah, it was fun. Obviously, we didn't get the finish we wanted in the IMSA car, but knowing that I had that experience now, because going to Watkins Glen, that place that we were supposed to go to this year, I was like, okay, I have no experience. I'm going to try to race the IMSA race before there, just to get a little seat time on the track. But now having all that experience at Daytona and actually getting to race there with very minimal practice, I feel like is going to help me a ton.
Yeah, I know we can't wait to watch it. And I should remind everyone that you can watch it live on Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern on Track Pass, which is on the NBC Sports Gold app. So that's the ARCA Menards Series General Tire 100. 11 races into your season, you sit fourth in the championship standings. How would you kind of assess what you guys have done to this point?
We've had a lot of ups and downs. Obviously, the team has to go through the ups and downs of changing manufacturers, learning cars, different things you have to change on the cars, which I think we've just been fine-tuning everything, trying to find our niche of what works well with how I drive and how the mechanics will set up the car, and how me and my crew chief kind of comprehend everything and have conversation about everything. I think it's just a big communication key of figuring out what everyone likes and finding a good balance.
Well, and I watched your season opener back in February at Daytona, of course, on the Super Speedway then, and you had a runner-up finish, and that was just a really impressive showing. So I have to imagine that felt really good to kind of kick the season off like that and show that you guys kind of had speed straight out the box.
It was a good motivator for the beginning of the season, and I know Daytona is one of those kind of lucky races where you could get lucky. There's a lot of wrecks and stuff, a lot of people that could win there and stuff, it just could be because of wrecks, but also could be a speed. There's so many equations and luck of draft and everything like that, who you're around. There's so much that goes into super speedway racing like that. It's not just raw speed of your car. And so I think that we definitely got a good finish there, and we were smart. We raced smart, and the crew gave me a really good car. But I think going into the rest of the year, we found our strong suits and where we need to work on also. And so I think we're just working on those kind of spots of where we can improve and trying to go from there.
I know it's such a busy time for you now that it's kind of a condensed schedule getting back to the season. And yet you took the time to go watch your brother Hayden compete at the Loretta Lynn's, just a legendary amateur motocross competition. And he swept it, right? He won everything he was in. What was that like to be there and support him?
It was really cool. My mom and dad ended up going out the weekend before, and racing kind of starts like Monday practice and stuff. And obviously I was racing that weekend before, and then I had to be at the shop. I had to go sim. I had stuff I had to do out here, and my mom wanted me to go, but I couldn't go for a whole week. I was like, I want to go, trust me, but like I can't just leave for a whole week. I have stuff to get done here for my racing. And so I ended up finding 2 days that were free, which that was Thursday and Friday. Drove up Thursday at about 2:30 in the morning, so we can make his 8:30 moto, because he only had one moto that day, and I was only able to stay till Friday. And so I spent 2 days there, drove up at 2 in the morning, drove back Friday night after all his motos, and he won his championship. So it was cool to be there. I like being around the whole team and seeing everyone's effort, and I like supporting my little brother. He's insane on a dirt bike, and it just comes so natural. So it's cool to see his talent showcased.
Well, and I know how proud your parents are, and just as I've seen you traveling around the country, I always seem to spot both your parents there at the racetrack with you. What does it mean that it seems like they want to be there with you every step of the way?
Yeah, my parents are super involved in my life and my racing. They come, at least one of them comes to one of my races, except like obviously my brother's racing and stuff, and my dad has to race, because you have to keep in mind, I have a little brother that still goes to school. I have obviously my brother that races, and obviously all the moto stuff. So he has to go to school also, and he's kind of in between homeschooling-ish and going to school. So that's a little different. And then you have my dad racing, and then you have me racing. And so you only got so many people in the family that can go with us. And I just turned 19, so I can be a little more independent. But I still have those two younger brothers that they have to worry about also.
Sure. It's a highly successful racing family, and a busy one at that. All right, I want to turn back again just quickly to the race you have coming up here at Daytona. Again, it's this Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern, and on Track Pass on the NBC Gold app. Everyone can watch it live. Super excited. You've been talking about doing some sim work. You'll get a little bit of practice. What do you think will be the biggest challenge overall, though, with that race, or maybe the particular challenge of that track?
I think it's going to be setting up your car, because it's a long race. A lot of laps, road courses, your car changes a lot depending on how your setup is. Like say your car's tight, you're going to wear out the front tires quick. Say your car's loose, you're going to just heat up all your tires. And so it's just, there's a lot that goes into it, whether it's you're loose on the right-handers, left-handers, overheating some tires, wearing out your equipment too quick into the race. And I think it's going to be finding a good balance in practice. And hopefully there's no rain. That's the real challenge.
Yeah, rain could throw it into the mix. It's a big weekend down at Daytona International Speedway with all the major NASCAR series there, but it all kicks off with you guys in the ARCA Menards series. Hailie Deegan, thank you so much for your time. Good luck this weekend. Can't wait to see you in action.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Hey Motorsports fans, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit subscribe before you go for all the latest news and highlights across motorsports.